Alright, how's it going guys? So my name is Kieran and this is the best of the web. Now, any of you who have been watching this show for a while now will know that one of my favourite organisations in the world to talk about is ISIS and the many escapades they have fighting different factions of people around the world. Now, I've already told you about how the Westboro Baptist Church claimed that they were going to go and picket ISIS in whatever country they're in at the moment, and unfortunately that never transpired. But we have a new contender in the ring, and it is an old family friend of ours, and that organisation is the Taliban. So in probably one of my favourite bits of news in the whole of history, the leader of ISIS and the leader of the Taliban have both put a jihad on each other.
It was on that day I put a jihad on them. And if you don't believe it, then you better kill me now, because I'll put a jihad on you too.
Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the leader of ISIS who's recently been actually quite seriously injured, said about the Taliban leader Mullah Muhammad Omar that he is a fool and an illiterate warlord. So with this new piece of news, I just need to kind of figure out what side I'm on, because, you know, ISIS, no one really likes them. But then again, the Taliban aren't one of my favourite organisations as well. So I thought back to the old piece of wisdom that the enemy of your enemy is your friend. So that means that because ISIS are our enemy and the Taliban are now the enemy of ISIS, the Taliban are now our friend? But then also the Taliban are our enemy, which means that ISIS are our friend as well. But then again, if they're both our friend, then they are both the enemy of our friend. And if our friend's enemy is our enemy, and we are the enemy of ISIS and of the Taliban, does that mean that we are our own enemy? Oh my God. Breaking news, people, you heard it here first. I believe that if we are really our own enemy, we should do a preemptive nuclear strike on ourselves just before we get the chance to terrorize, attack us. But anyway, with all of this jihadi giving and jihadi taking, I just think that we jihadily have a chance of peace in the Middle East anymore. There's also a pun in there somewhere about ISIS sounding like Apple just brought out a product which is a robotic sister which you can buy, but I just do not have the effort inside of me to really flesh that one out, so think of it yourself. Anyway, moving on to the next breaking news story. A father in the US of A who has been arrested for child porn has claimed that it is the Illuminati who have actually set this man up. Now, the father of 8 was found with 20,000 images of child porn on his computer, and he says that it was the Illuminati who put it there. And I just did not realise how deep the Illuminati's ever-reaching arm really went. The man claims that he was recently researching and was going to do an expose on the Illuminati, and because of that they have planted 20,000 images of child porn on his computer. Now, to be totally honest with you, I think that the Illuminati have gone a little bit overboard there. I don't think you needed 20,000 images of child porn to do it. Like, 5 would have probably been enough. Because, I mean, seriously, who needs 20,000 images of child porn? I mean, I don't think that I've probably ever seen, in total, 20,000 images of regular porn, let alone the far more, from what I hear, elusive and hard to get child pornography. You must have every single photo in the world. I know pedos love child porn, but god damn guys, I think this is clear evidence of the Illuminati's involvement. But we will come back to this story in a minute and you'll see what I'm talking about as we move on to our next story, which is talking about a CEO who has set the minimum wage of the employees at his company at $70,000. Now, in order to do this, the CEO had to reduce his yearly wage from $1 million down to $70,000 as well. So this is being applauded by a lot of people as quite an amazing move. The CEO said that he saw some research which said that $70,000 was the level of income which, when you went past that, you stopped gaining any more happiness from it. But if you were below that, then you lost happiness because of the money which you could be gaining. So he thought, why not give my employees the maximum amount of economic happiness that I can? But again, I want you to keep these last two stories in mind as we move on to the next one, which is talking about bull semen. Now, a farm, again in the US of A, has had a rather large amount of bull semen stolen from their ranch. The amount totals up to, you guessed it, $70,000 worth of bull semen. Now, this obviously raises the question of, was this person an opportunistic thief who saw that there was a new group of people who he just assumed would be bull semen enthusiasts who would have a large amount of disposable income to spend on their hobby? Or was this another classic play by the Illuminati? $70,000 a year. $70,000 of bull semen. 7 plus 7 equals 14. 1 plus 4 equals 5. Add another for good luck and you get to 6. If you then repeat 6 3 times for whatever reason, I don't know, you get 666, the number of the devil. Now you might be saying, yeah, so what, Kieran? You can do that with any numbers. You can just add them up and you can get a random assortment of other numbers. 666 means absolutely nothing. Oh, really? Oh, does it? Because as we move on to our final story of the day, we have a criminal who attempted to very recently carve what numbers into his head, you may ask? 666. Boom. This is, like I said, again, clear evidence that the Illuminati has a hand in not only sending fathers who are investigating them to jail by child porn, not only stealing bull semen, but also showing occult symbols in criminals' foreheads. Now, unfortunately for the Illuminati, the guy who they chose to be a vessel of their evil deeds was not that bright, I have to tell you, and he accidentally carved the numbers 666 upside down into his head, leaving him instead with the numbers 999. My advice to the guy would be just cut your losses over in America, come over to England and just claim that you are doing a public service by having the emergency services number 999 carved into your forehead the whole time. Obviously that would be a good piece of advice if you weren't about to be put on death row by a judge, but you know what, if you somehow still get off this case, then you're more than welcome to sleep on my floor in a couple years' time. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. I may also be doing another video in a couple of days' time because I'm turning 21 on Thursday. Woo! Holler at me, yo. The birthday, which obviously everyone celebrates as a huge milestone, even though absolutely nothing happens when you turn 21, unless you're living in America. So on that point, I will say goodbye, and that is me out!
Oh yeah!